Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the first installment of So Tell Me with Phil Bhojwanay, the show where questions about society and its utter stupidity are raised based on my mood for the day. My very first guest for this podcast is a very close friend of mine, Robert Banyai. He's lazy as fuck, and trust me, I know because I'm the same way. We go back 16 years, all the way back to high school in Taylor's College, Melbourne. We became best friends because we were the worst of students. Okay, now, Rob, let's get down to business. I'm pissed off at a few things. I want to get a few things off my chest that are troubling me. And this is a list of things that I want to talk about today. Coming in at number one, based on my mood for today, is people who sneeze at your face like it's a societal norm. What are your thoughts on that?
First of all, it's great to be here, Phil Bhojwanay, my brown brother from another mother. And, when we're talking about sneezing, I have a feeling this is something that happens more in your country of origin. In Singapore, I think there's probably a lot of people not with many manners, but I do come across it when I'm in elevators. Usually, there's going to be a lot of sneezing and coughing and generally not much covering of the mouth. So, I have a cough at the moment and, it's...
See that.
I'm trying not to turn this into a cough cast, so I'm just going to hold back on my cough as much as possible. But, I know it's one of your pet hates.
Yeah, it's not a pet hate. It's not even a pet peeve. It's a psychotic breakdown I have if you do this with me. So, what about those people who sneeze at your face, sneeze with their fingers over their noses, like as if it's an implosion? What's going on? Do they want their noses to explode and walk around without a nose?
I've never
Speaking of which, by
people.
the way, can you smell your own nose?
I can't smell my own nose. I can't smell it. And I don't understand people that hold in sneezes.
Yeah.
I mean, you could get brain damage from this shit. It's and my dad, he preaches this. He's like, you've got to just let it all out. Like with everything, whether it's sneezing.
Yeah, but you got to cover your mouth or your nose at some point. You can't just let it all out all over the place.
You don't let it out all over the place. You cover it, but you don't hold it inside your body. That's what I'm trying to say.
It's got to come out through the nose and the mouth properly. I mean, do it normally.
Absolutely.
I mean, we're not retards over here. Okay, let's get things going properly.
Yeah.
What about the guys who do it at the with your lift? This is in your building? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, especially in my old building that I used to live in all the time, there would be people that would cough and sometimes, the spit, or they do that hocking thing. They hock. It's like what are you working on there?
Yeah.
Like, are you making a frothing coffee or some shit?
Yeah,
or
exactly.
Frothing the milk for your coffee. I don't know what
cappuccino.
you're doing.
Yeah.
Making a cappuccino. So
do you tell them off at all, or you just look at them? in
I'm
disgust?
not one of those guys that does that. But I hope that you are. I have a feeling.
You know me well enough.
I think you would have done it a couple of times. Call them out.
Oh, absolutely. Complete in disgust. In fact, speaking of which, we both saw Spectre yesterday in different cinemas. I'm going to segue to cinema in a little bit, but before we get to that, the guy sneezing at the back, if I bought my ticket and if I have someone at the back sneezing and if the cinema is full, I'm walking out.
Yeah.
What about you?
If it's going through the whole movie, I mean, look, I've paid my money to watch the movie, so I'm probably gonna stick with it. But you're the type of guy that you drop the mic and you walk out. That's it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's you. You're a bit more dramatic than me, but I understand. I mean, I went one time to a baby session of a movie, and we had the crying babies, and I thought that, okay, we paid only $10 to see the movie, so we get a discount. And it actually worked out okay because the babies were only crying at the start of the movie. I thought, oh shit, this is going to be through the whole movie, but they were all right. So go to the baby session whenever you can. That's better.
You didn't see any prams lying around? You just stuck in?
Two mothers' prams, and we went to see that Secret Service movie. I can't remember what it was called.
Oh, the one with the Taron Egerton, is that the one?
Yeah, I think Colin Firth was there.
Yeah, that was a fantastic movie, wasn't it?
A really good movie.
Loved it.
So, and the mothers were loving the movie as well. There's just two mothers and me and my mate, and that was it.
And the babies were too.
Yeah,
apparently.
And there was no coughing and spluttering. There's just a few cries, and that's it.
It's it's funny you mention stuff like this at the cinema because I believe that I think today what I like to call actually is nobody has any more cinema etiquette. I mean, they come in, it's a fucking picnic. I don't like this. I mean, you're bringing hot dogs and Nando's. That's what they did yesterday with, I had these two
the
fat
rustling
ladies
of
next to me.
the popcorn and
Yeah.
opening the choc tops and all this shit.
The other day, I had a guy, I kid you not, I swear to God, he, what do you call it? One of those things where you blow bubbles out of in the cinema. He was doing this over there the whole time before the movie
he was
started.
blowing bubbles.
He was blowing bubbles with his girlfriend. Now, if you want to come over there with your girlfriend and see a movie, why don't you watch one at home and do whatever you want? Why bother me?
Yeah.
Right?
You're there to watch the film, sit down, be quiet, watch
And shut
the
up.
movie. I mean, I think you can whisper every now and then at times when there's, obviously if there's a bit of noise. If there's a lot of noise, though, it's okay because people aren't going to hear you doing a bit of whispering. It's all right.
Well, okay, I've seen a movie. Remember,
You can't sit completely still, not, like this.
No one's saying not to move. We're not having a Hitler walk up and down like a bouncer looking at you. But it's it ought to get to that freaking level without the Hitler part, obviously. But bouncers at cinemas, okay, look, either keep quiet or get the hell out. You know, because to some people like me, the cinema, the movies are an escape. I love them. I love them.
You want to go off into that other world.
Exactly.
And just,
So any minimal sound whatsoever is going to trouble me.
Yeah, so you're hypersensitive to this because this is your...
This is my only escape, right?
Yeah.
So, not to mention, I grew up in a family where everything was so sort of, everything had to be very prim and proper. So when you grew up in a background, in a surrounding like that, you sort of become that way. Like my older brothers like that. The younger ones become like that too. Sorry. So you
it
have
wasn't
three
a
brothers.
noisy household.
It was a noisy household in the sense that there was a lot of fighting always going on as the years in the earlier years, but as the years progressed, every now and then it was like the stock market, bipolar, ups and downs, just like with everything else in life.
Of course,
Yeah.
peaks and troughs and ups and downs. Yeah,
But no, definitely with the cinema thing, this is it's a no-go for me. I just cannot stand anybody sort of going nuts over this sort of thing. It just angers me. Even coming in with the smell of cologne. I mean, what does the cinema
you
become?
were mentioning this. Yeah, that's too strong cologne. Yeah.
And what is up with the whole booking a ticket for $25 before you walk in? Am I going to the theater or a cinema? There's a big difference between the both. I'm not seeing a play, I'm seeing a movie. Why should I have to decide 2 days in advance? Like this happens in Singapore. It doesn't happen. When I was living in Chicago, it never happened that way. You just walk in at 9:59 for a 10 o'clock show, you get a ticket, you sit down, you get your fucking popcorn, freaking popcorn, whatever it is, get your Coke and you enjoy yourself. What's with all this allocated seating bullshit? I mean...
Yeah.
It annoys me. Well, I mean, that's just my take on it.
Well, at the session I went to last night, because it was actually courtesy of IBM, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Shout out to IBM.
Yeah.
It was first come, best dressed,
Really?
Yeah. And there were people that were rocking up fucking, almost 30 minutes into the supposed start time, because we had to wait until the cinema was filled.
That's right. Yeah.
Because, I had to make sure everyone was in
an
before the
advanced
movie
screening.
started. But people were rocking up 25 minutes, almost half an hour into the, supposed start time.
I had that as well.
And then they're expecting to, still get good seats. It's like, dude, it's, first come, best dressed.
Speaking of that aside, along the same topic, what about those guys who when you finally sit down, you're there early for the movie and your seats in the front are empty, you think, okay, good, I've got the whole cinema to myself over here, or a few people around, okay, I can deal with this.
And then
someone walks in, exactly, and they block your way at that exact part where something special or something important has happened, and it just screws up my whole movie experience. And where do you go
You've
from
got
there?
the whole cinema.
Yeah.
Why do you have to come and sit
Exactly.
right there and...
And why'd you got to be late as well?
Get up while I'm in my business. I mean, it's ridiculous.
It's gone out of hand. Some people think I'm nuts with this, but look, I had a friend in Chicago tell me, look, if you don't like going to the cinema, why don't you lock yourself in the basement down in Chicago and watch a movie? I'm like, no, because I want the Dolby surround system.
Yeah.
I want everything that
And
goes
the
with it.
THX, all that shit.
Yeah, so I mean, I want to see a movie. What's your problem?
Yeah.
My problem's you, because you can't keep quiet. All right? Speaking of problems, I have another pet peeve. Well, I don't like using the word pet peeve. Another person who disgusts me is Donald Trump.
Oh, I know.
Big news in the papers about him.
Been seeing your Facebook updates about this
Yeah.
guy. Yeah, what was the last thing you were mentioning? Something about boycotting Starbucks.
Yeah, so there's an issue with Starbucks right now. They've got these red color cups, and with these red cups, he wanted there was supposed to be something that said Merry Christmas on it.
Yeah.
And no one said that. And the first thing that went through my mind was, hold up. it's not even December yet. What's the hurry? Why boycott a place that just gives you red cups? The red cup. Come on.
People just want shit to complain about for no reason. You know, is it a red and white? Like, is it got that Christmas color at least?
It's got a bit of a tinge to the tinge of green to it. It looks like a
if
Christmas.
it has the red and green and white,
yeah.
then I think it doesn't really
What's the
matter
problem?
what you do.
Yeah.
And, you know, next year, then they can go for an elaborate design or whatever. But this year, we're doing minimal. So what's the big shit?
You could just say, why not, while you're at it, put Happy Diwali or Happy Chinese New Year there if that's how you want things to go. Because in Chinese customs, they have a red hong bao is what they call it. It's a red packet. You know this. I mean, you grew up in Australia. And you sort of see so many, it's such a multicultural society. So you know the different ethnicities. And so they give you money in this little small red packet. And but you don't have to say Happy Chinese New Year on that. You just say, here's the money, or here's your coffee with
That's
Starbucks,
it,
and go away. I mean, what more do you want? I mean, what's wrong? This is what pisses me off about society. Every small little thing is a problem. I mean, what? So now what? Where do we go from here?
Because we need to have something to be angry about. We need to have something to be mad about, and, you know, get up on our soapbox. And, you know, I guess kind of like how we're complaining about this shit today.
But it's my
That's
job.
kind of ironic, but we're complaining about the complainers. But I agree, it's ridiculous. I mean, you know, Donald Trump is just a buffoon. I think.
Debate-wise, for Republicans and Democrats, you have any nominee in mind that you sort of want to win?
I mean, I did manage to actually catch. You know, I watched probably about half an hour worth of the Democratic debate.
Yeah.
And there was some, was it Anderson Cooper? Yeah, he was asking some...
The mediator.
He was asking some pretty probing questions.
Fantastic.
But I think, to me, you know, definitely the two standouts, probably Bernie Sanders and you know, Hillary, obviously, with her background, you know, it was very good too. They had it pretty well nailed down.
But don't you find that with Bernie Sanders, it felt very natural and it wasn't contrived as opposed to Hillary Clinton's? He
spoke well, Bernie. Yeah. He's got the gift of the gab, I think.
I think, you know, who has the gift of the gab actually is Clinton, because she, not only did she memorize the whole script, but she improvised when she had to as well.
Yeah.
And then you had the other three idiots.
Because she was asked a question about, you know, agreeing with Obama and then going against him. And, that she was in an awkward spot there, and she handled herself pretty well.
Do you think she's better than Bill, her husband?
It's hard. It's really hard to say because, you know, she hasn't been given the top job yet, and, you know, she hasn't won the candidacy yet. So I don't know, when do they decide?
They decide next year, some point next year. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not an American citizen, but neither do I care. Yeah. But it does affect the rest of the world. But
it's big.
But she's done. But what about as Secretary of State? She's I think she's been doing a good job. Or has she done a good job thus far?
Yeah. I mean, I don't follow US politics all that closely, but she seems to be quite popular. Yeah. And, you know, she's got a lot of support from, you know, a lot of different communities. And
speaking of support, they recently passed a bill for the LGBT community. Now, you know, what's your take on this? Are you fully on board with it? I'll be honest with you, I'm not entirely on board with it just yet. I
know you're not fully on board. Look, so. If you know, I think it's good for them, you know, because, you know, if they've been made fun of or haven't been given, you know, equal opportunities, then, you know, I'm all for that. I mean, I'm not sure about the whole community thing. I'm not sure what classifies what is a community. So that's what I'm a little vague on. I mean, I hope that we can all just be as one society, you know. I think
that's what I'm. So we're a society, but and they're a community. So we're basically a community, a few bunches of communities sort of that make up a society, right? And so they go the LGBT community. Now, you know, as a comedian, I've done stand-up sets on jokes like this. They've taken up 4 letters of the alphabet. Then now they've added an I in there. So what next? Now DMX comes in, he sings a song about that. What do we have then? We've got nothing going on. I mean,
we'll eventually capture everything. There'll be an alphabet community, and that's it.
Look, we better start learning characters in Mandarin then, because if it's gonna go this way, we're gonna get. Look, jokes aside, the LGBT, the L till the G, I'm okay.
Yeah.
I don't get the transgender bit because to me, okay, personally, I know that the erogenous zones, according to doctors, dating back to the dawn of time, that there might be some sort of glitch in their genetic makeup, but look, to me, you're either a man or a woman. You can't be both.
Yeah,
You can combine in one. So I don't know. Caitlyn Jenner's not a good example.
One. Yeah, Caitlyn Jenner probably not the best example. But look, I mean, I've heard, there's been people that have said that, from the moment pretty much that they were born or when they were very early on in their development, that they were adamant that no, I'm not a boy, I want to be a girl, or vice versa. So people do get pretty adamant about that sort of stuff. So, you have to respect that.
You know that.
Yeah, I know.
That reminds me, because we go way back, like I keep saying, and you know what a Sindhi is, right? I'm Indian, so that's part of so many different sub-communities within the community. So recently, you must have read this. I might have passed you the article on Facebook or tagged you in it at least. There was a Sindhi family, judging by the last family name, which I will not name drop over here for the sake of being nice. But the 6-year-old, a boy or girl just turns into a boy and girl together now. So 6 years old, where do you come up with the mindset that you know this? What do you know at 6? I mean, what do you know at 17 for that matter?
Oh, you mean they actually did
Well, the kid goes to the parents and he says, look, I want to be a woman. I want to be a girl. And the teachers in school...
They're 6 years old.
He or she, whatever. Look, I call him it. But... I may be wrong about that. Look, I'm not going to get a lot of strife.
That's tricky as well. That's the funny when they talk about the Caitlyn. Sorry to sidetrack a bit, but when they talk about Caitlyn Jenner, I remember when Kim Kardashian was interviewed on Ellen, she's like, "Oh well, he at the time," and it's like no one knows whether to say he or she. They're getting so confused because it's like, did he won the Olympics or did she win the Olympic medals?
But did you see that that Caitlyn Jenner was actually a guest on Ellen? For Kim Kardashian aside, Caitlyn Jenner came in, and this is where I got very, very baffled and annoyed. Ellen goes, "Do you support the cause?" He says, "I do, but I don't support the marriage part of it."
Yes,
right? So
I was baffled by. I was absolutely baffled by that. I thought, Caitlyn Jenner would be this champion of equality and be this spokesperson, and then to come out and say that I'm a traditionalist, I'm like, hold on a minute, you've just gone and
contradicted yourself.
Yeah,
yeah.
It really threw me for a loop. I think she is slowly coming round to the gay marriage thing. I mean. And I don't even know what the sexual preference is either.
You talk about he or she. Even with in Missouri lately, there was an incident where a kid, boy or girl, again we don't know, walks into the girls' bathroom and wants to take a piss. Yeah. And the girl students go on strike because I think they know that he was or still is a boy, and there was a gender neutral bathroom in the school for them to use. Now, what more do you want? I mean, it's almost as if that. For lack of a better word, you're hijacking society. You're taking advantage of everything. The society has given you everything.
I remember
what more do you want? I mean, it's there is a gender.
What did they actually want in the end? What was desired?
Essentially, that kid who was a boy, to me, is a boy. He wanted to be part of the girls' bathroom, and he wanted to use any bathroom he pleased at that particular point because he says,
he wanted to use both bathrooms.
As far as I remember, I think just the girls one.
It's by bathroom.
It's a bathroom, huh?
By bathrooms, like bisexual,
they're called gender neutral bathrooms. Yeah. So there's one, and come on,
but they made the gender neutral bathroom for this person
for transgenders. Yeah.
Yeah, but didn't want it.
They didn't want to use it. To me, I think you're getting the best deal because why would you want to share a toilet with someone else when you have your very own one right there?
Your own man. This would be perfect. Sign me up for this shit.
Look, the only place that you have no choice and nobody has a choice to say anything to you is on the aeroplane. If you need to take a crap in the plane, where's he gonna go? There's a lavatory. That's for one person. Okay, fine. But outside, when you're on land, come on. I mean, it's just getting out of hand. I don't think it's fair. Now, straight people have become the targets for coming across as bad people now. Look, I've got nothing against the community, but there has to be some balance. But look, I can get into this with you all day, but I'd say up to now I'm probably about 85% on board. I don't think it's just that teapot doesn't strike me as something that flies.
Yeah.
So
I guess that they have to sort of put it into that category.
But Obama has been the one who's passed all these bills. I mean, I just before I left the house today, during my time in Chicago, I used to watch the Steve Harvey show rerun at night. And just today on Facebook, I just saw this article where it was, have we all become
racism?
Have we all become too sensitive? And personally, I think we have, because it's a millennial thing. And look, you and me, I think we just don't, we just bypass that whole part of being millennials, being in our 30s now.
Yeah.
And so if anyone ever called me that, I get pissed off because, you know, they come up with these weird terms. I'm this sexual, that sexual, asexual, pansexual. Listen, a pan is something to cook in. Not for you to, what are you talking about? I mean, Miley Cyrus, this Miley virus, not Miley Cyrus. Miley virus, she's spreading all this shit.
Virus.
Yeah. So I don't know, what are your thoughts on that? I mean, I'm getting a little bit annoyed.
She's tongue sexual. I don't know, mate. She's tongue sexual. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it is getting a little bit out of hand. People just generally don't want to offend anyone anymore. It's too afraid, you know, but you gotta make that separation between there's intent to offend and actually do damage, or just having a bit of a laugh. And I think
so here's my thing, right? If it's not malicious, it isn't out of line. Actually, Don Rickles said that first, and to me, he's my comic hero. He doesn't take back anything he says. George Carlin, same way. And they were not malicious. They were telling you the truth. In some way, actually, comedians are philosophers. Okay, we see the negative and the positive, and the positive and the negative, and the serious and the funny, and the funny and the serious. So if I go on stage today, the reason why I stopped doing stand-up was simply because of the audiences. It would be very nerve-wracking for me to go on because any small little thing I say could be misconstrued and I would be in trouble.
It's almost like the audience needs to undergo some sort of pre-test.
Yeah.
Play a few sample jokes just to warm them up, just to get them ready for the shit that Phil's about to unleash.
Exactly. Well,
they got to be primed.
There you go. But the same thing happened, was it 2 years ago with Tracy Morgan? You said you went for, was it in Perth, where he had to walk out of 50%?
In Melbourne. It was just at the Arts Centre, I think, and I went to see him there. I didn't really enjoy the set. That's not because I was offended or anything like that. I just didn't think it was all that funny. Yeah. But there were people that were flat out just
offended.
Were offended walking out. And I think Tracy Morgan started to get a bit upset as well.
I would too.
And he started to, I think he had to go at a few people in the audience. So it was, in general, it was quite an uncomfortable night. But people do get very...
So the thing about Tracy Morgan for me is that...
Jim Jeffries as well, when I saw him, he upset a few people.
Who was that, sorry?
Jim Jeffries.
Jim Jeffries?
Yeah.
The thing about Tracy Morgan for me was that when he first went on Comedy Def Jam, that was his jam right there. He was special on that. He did a Michael Jackson sort of set.
Yeah.
And it was very, very funny. And then he got on SNL eventually, where he was...
Because he could do clean.
He could, if he wanted to, but he's very, very quirky. And recently with his accident, he's not the same. And I love Tracy Morgan. I think he's funny as hell.
Since the accident, he sounds a bit...
He's getting back to himself, but it's not that Tracy Morgan we once all knew. But when he was on 30 Rock, it was... You know, a classic. That was...
he was fantastic on that show.
Yeah.
And when he actually came out and he did the set, and he was like, oh, you expecting that you're going to see Tracy Jordan? This is Tracy Morgan. This is Tracy Morgan, you know.
Exactly.
And, you know, and so he was trying to really distance himself from the Tracy Jordan character when he came out. And I think most of the people that came to see the show wanted that, you know, wanted the Tracy Jordan guy.
Exactly.
Or the SNL guy.
Pretty much the same guy, though. He recently hosted SNL, actually, and he came back, and it was, for me, SNL hasn't been the same for a long, long time now, but when he came back on, I turned on the TV, it was just on, and it was nostalgia for me, because remember Brian Fellows' Safari Adventures?
Yeah.
That was one of the sketches that they had. Astronaut Jones, which is basically only 90 seconds long, but it's just so quirky, just the way he is. It's his voice. It's funny, and you could sense the audience, the live audience wasn't so into it.
Yeah,
they wanted more of these sketches, like Jimmy Fallon, right? Like this guy over here. I can't stand this guy. Jimmy Fallon has
always
ruined these.
Hated him?
No,
or it was mainly since he started getting into late night, wasn't it? That's when you had a problem.
So here's the thing, right? Yeah. This is where the irony kicks in, because I loved him on. I thought, to me, till today, I think he still is one of the best cast members on SNL.
Yeah, I think his impersonations were really good.
Does Seinfeld amazingly. Does a bunch of others which don't come to mind right now.
Hillary Swank one he did when he was on. He did it. the Celebrity Jeopardy ones.
Yeah.
The Celebrity Jeopardy was probably my favorite SNL.
And Barry Gibbs, he did that as well.
Yeah. But
Yeah. No, but look, I mean, sorry to cut you off. I just want to talk about late night for me because for a little bit, when he first got, what was it, the Late Late Show on NBC, he took over Conan, was it?
he took over Conan, yeah.
So Conan was supposed to get Leno's spot, and then there was a whole debacle over there. And
What a mess that was.
Yeah, Leno wants to be everywhere, hiding in the closet, dating back to days of Letterman and him. But when Jimmy Fallon got the Tonight Show, I was severely upset because Johnny Carson made it special, and the guy has come on over here. Here's a sign of a very, very bad host is that when you do an interview, if during your interview 3 minutes in, not even 3, maybe 2 minutes in, you've lost count of, or you've lost an idea of what to ask, and you resort to playing games, that says a lot. Then
Yeah.
again, I know he's appealing to the audiences because millennials are stupid, but here's well, that's my opinion. I mean, I'm going to say that like, yes, you people are stupid. This generation
call
is
it
a
out,
stupid
yeah.
generation. So
Yeah.
So how can you have a host then? Why don't you just go back to SNL, get Lorne Michaels, say, look, hey, I'm going to retire soon. Why don't you take over SNL? Because you can do sketches very, very well. I'll give him that. He does amazing sketches.
Yeah.
But that is it. Donald Trump came on. Every political figure that comes on,
So you think as a talk show host, as far as interviewing and just asking questions,
No good.
That's not his wheelhouse.
it's not, I mean, openly, I think he knows that as well. I mean, when any political figure that comes on, you know why they go on? Because they know that Fallon cannot, it's not a Colbert or Jon Stewart to put you down and to question you and to make sure that he can set you in place.
It's going to be very lighthearted when you go on there, and you can fuck around and be a bit of an idiot.
There's a
I think maybe
difference.
that's why there's a market for that.
But see, there's a difference between being childlike and childish. All right? Now, Jimmy Fallon is a latter. He's 40 years old, and what's up with this whole falling on his ass every single time? Well, one day a cock's going to be up, and it's going to fall out, and that's it, man. He's done for. So I think he might be gay.
That's a big call, Phil.
Yeah. Well,
It's a big, maybe. I mean, all this party, he's burning the candle at both ends, and
Okay, well, think about it,
know.
right? Okay, his wife is Drew Barrymore's ex-lesbian lover. They had a child through a surrogate, and now he's out every single night doing what? And what are you falling on? That's what I want to know. You know? And where?
how many times has he fallen on
4.
something?
He's fallen 4 times, and his middle finger. That's the irony. It's fucked.
It's
so
just documented every. You've got all the documented Jimmy Fallon fallings.
it's
yeah.
no. This is just
Jimmy Fallon.
Jimmy. Yeah, that's
Jimmy Fallon.
fall on exactly.
Yeah.
I fall on my ass, and something's up.
Jimmy Fallon.
Something is up. I don't know what it is, but I'm
Jimmy
gonna
Fallon, suspicious object.
I'm gonna get to the bottom of it.
I know you will, Phil.
Yeah.
I know you've got a lot of time to investigate this.
I'm not gonna investigate it, but I'm definitely gonna make jokes about this. So, but that's Fallon for me. I miss David Letterman so much. He was the guy I looked up to. He was the only thing I had in Chicago, even as of 2014 when I spent a year with Second City and I over there doing sketch comedy and stand-up. He was the only guy that got me through 10:30. Because that's when it used to air in Chicago, officially because of different time zone within America. But now he's not there. Colbert's taken over. He's a smart guy. He's actually a Second City alumni, but Second City hasn't produced anything good since Tina Fey. They've got a few people here and there, but as of late, in the last 1 or 2 years, it's become embarrassing. I'm going to straight up say that. IO, which is the Improv Olympic, is a way better institution to go to.
Yeah.
But I think now for the improv, everyone's going over to Amy Poehler's, which is the UCB, the Upright Citizens Brigade.
Is that in Chicago as well, or is this New York?
New York and LA. I think it might just be New York, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everyone's going over there. The improv's not. It's like when you see Seth MacFarlane in TED, they go to the improv. And remember TED 2, that scene where give us any suggestion. And 9/11. So no, something else. Give us something else. The LGBTs. No, we can't do that. So you just asked us for a fucking suggestion. So what do you want us to say now?
Yeah.
So you can't say
Too much
anything.
stuff is out of bounds.
Exactly.
It's out of bounds.
So, and comedy is supposed to be politically incorrect. It's not supposed to be mean, but it's not supposed to be nice. Let's get that straight.
Exactly.
Let's get that gay, whatever.
It should be allowed to push buttons, I think.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because, why not?
Exactly, why not? You're coming to see a comedy show. You're not going to see a dog run in a race. So
Yeah.
what more do you want from a comedy show? I mean, it's like, okay, it's like with waiters, right? So in America, another thing. Now, don't get me wrong. My waiter friends might get pissed off at this, but I mean no malice, because I have some very, very good bartender friends in Chicago and some very good waiter friends. But in general, this whole waitering thing and the tipping, 20% is bullshit. It's got out of hand. It's like, see, I'm saying comedians provide a service, as do waiters, but all we ask of you is a smile and a laugh and a clap. We don't ask you for anything else because we get paid before that. So why don't the restaurants pay the freaking?
They have to pay their staff properly. This is
exactly.
the problem.
Why should the customers do it? So basically, you're getting service, or maybe sometimes you're not getting proper service, and you're paying 20% to a jackass who literally all he does is pick up a plate from the fucking kitchen and put it to you,
and bring it over.
Yeah,
what's
the big deal?
Do a jig and a song and a dance or whatever.
What is so
or a comedy routine?
Exactly. What is so special now? Unless you have, unless you're a moron, I don't know what to say.
The way you've read those specials, oh my god, I'm going to give you fucking 30% for that. That was magnificent, the way that you described that sauce. Or whatever.
Exactly.
I mean, come on, man.
But there's been a lot of controversy about this whole tipping thing in America right now.
Is that something that they're going to ever change, you think? Well, along with the gun laws, which we'll maybe get into.
The gun laws are never going to change, because you're probably going to get it from some guy from the south side in a van who's going to sell it to you anyway. So you're better off just I don't know. Look, I'm not for guns at all. People kill people, but guns also kill them. But the biggest killer of life is life itself.
Yeah.
So that, in other words, mental illness. So then again, there's so many arguments to having guns and not having guns. I think guns should only be used for hunting, but that's it.
Well, what about Trump? He was talking about if the teachers had guns, if the security people at the school had guns, this wouldn't have happened. I'm like, if you arm everyone there at the school, it would have turned into possibly even more of a bloodbath at this latest massacre. I can't remember where it is, but pick your city or state. And he's trying to argue that if you armed everyone at the school, then that solves the problem. Well, then you turn it into a firefight. I mean,
no, absolutely. Trump's an idiot.
They're loopy over there.
He's Trump basically loves the limelight. He has he has an obsession with China.
On it.
He's in every sentence there's the word China in there. He's so afraid of them. He's so angry and jealous at the fact that, for once, maybe America might not be the best country in the world that they claim to be. I like America, don't get me wrong, but I love New York, I love Chicago, I love San Francisco, a lot of good American friends. But look, when you see people like Donald Trump, you think twice.
No, they're a proud people, and they don't like when they're being challenged. And I think countries like China, they're coming up fast, they're economic superpower. Yeah, they're doing everything.
Well, the Italian guy Chris Columbus walks in. He thinks that these are actual Indians when he finds the place. So that gives you an indication of where the freaking mindset comes from. I mean, brown is brown, red Indian is red Indian. That's a different story, guys. Come on, please get this together. So I don't know, but it's just. I mean, that's just another thing that pisses me off. It pisses me off so much. Also, another thing I wanted to ask you was, I don't know whether I told you to go check out this site before. Few weeks ago, called Quora. Did you
I
manage
signed
to get
up to it, but I didn't really, I didn't do a deep dive in there. But I mean, stupid questions,
exactly.
Right?
So
dumb
the whole
questions.
thing, basically, we're talking about society today, right?
Ask
So
Jeeves.
everything's connected. Like ask Jeeves. Jeeves used to be a driver of mine. So
Jeeves, yeah.
So look, I swear to God. Okay, now for the sake of not naming names over here, because I don't want to be sort of, it's still a website. So the person will remain anonymous. The guy, I swear to God, he asked this. He says, how old is Johnny Depp? You stupid motherfucker, can't you go and Google this?
Fucking Google.
What the fuck is wrong with people today?
You know what you should have done? I don't know if you've heard of this site. This is one of the most fantastic sites. It's called Let Me Google That For You. And you type it in, and it actually does an animation of where the mouse pointer goes into a search box, types in what the question that you're asking, and hits enter, and does it for you. And it makes them look like the biggest fucking idiot. Like, just let me Google that for you. Check that out, because that's what you should have done to this idiot asking about. I mean,
no,
Google,
but that's the thing.
IMDb, like,
I get an email from Quorum, moderation. We have to meet community standards. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't
That's
realize
not the
that.
standard.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't realize I couldn't have an opinion anymore.
Yeah.
So, and you know what should be standard is? Not asking a stupid question.
Yeah.
Okay, people say there's no such thing as a
There
stupid
are no
question.
stupid questions.
People say there's no such thing as a stupid question. That is an absolutely stupid fucking question. Not just that. Another one. Guys, how do I get a cardboard cut copy of Leonardo DiCaprio? Do it yourself.
Yeah.
What are you asking me for?
Or go to the printers or something like that.
But this is the millennial generation for you. These are the questions that get asked, and Quora doesn't allow you to give a one-liner, which I do. You have to have a paragraph. Oh, because I have so much time to do that. That's why.
Oh, you can't have a one-line answer.
No. They'll tell you your answers have been collapsed, just like my lungs. So, okay, it's an absolute bullshit website. Sign on just to get a laugh and a kick out of it. It's absolutely stupid.
Yeah.
Another thing is just today that came up with another friend of mine was there's a lot of fat shaming going on today. So you can't make fun of fat people. I say, well, what about the skinny models? So there's no you can skinny shame them, but you can't fat shame a fat person. They're still people, right?
I say discriminate equally. I say
exactly.
You should be able to make fun of everyone.
I
mean,
agree.
it's ridiculous. And you know, if you're fat, maybe you should eat a couple of less burgers. I mean, for fuck's sake, like it's not that hard.
What about the models who are so skinny throwing up the burgers instead? Maybe they can share the vomit together.
That's equally as ridiculous. You know, so we should be making fun of them, and we can make fun of the fat people too. I mean, what's the problem?
Exactly. I mean, I'm on board with that. I mean, what is the big issue? I mean, why is everyone back to against Steve Harvey? I mean, have we all, even Jerry Seinfeld, he refuses to play gigs at colleges because you can't say anything anymore.
Yeah, it's too progressive or whatever bullshit.
So it's a dying breed, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
You know?
It's quite upsetting. But look, there's enough good comedians still out there that do it. But the way society is, you know.
Okay, speaking of comedians, give me your top four. The comedians, Jerry Seinfeld had this question. He says, on the Mount Rushmore of comedy, the four faces up there. Give me your four. Go.
Oh,
top four of all time.
Yeah, you're putting me on the spot here, Phil. But I mean, I do really enjoy Louis C.K.
Mm-hmm.
JB Smoove from Curb Your Enthusiasm. Of course, I have to put Larry David / Jerry Seinfeld. I don't know if I can do a two in one.
No, you got to do, but Seinfeld was.
But
was
I think
more
he was
stand-up,
inspired by Larry David. So
the eccentricities, absolutely.
Yeah, so I'd put Larry in there. How many was that? 3?
That's 3. One more.
One more. I'm gonna
Paul Hogan?
I'm gonna go. No, I'm actually gonna go. Richard Pryor.
Okay.
Richard Pryor was because he started off so much of he inspired so many comedians, not just black comedians. Like,
what is the look?
Everyone.
I think Richard Pryor was good, but I've always been very, very baffled. What is the extremely big deal for comedians about Richard Pryor? Like, he's good. He makes my list of top 4, which I'll give you shortly. But for you, in your opinion, why Richard Pryor? Why do so many cite him as an influence? What do you think that made him so special?
I think he was one of the first that started to push the boundaries, you know.
How so?
I mean, he was dropping the N-word a lot in his shows, but I don't think it was just that. He would call things as he sees it. It would be unadulterated, and he actually had a pretty hard childhood growing up. He was born in a brothel, so you can imagine the material that would gives the guy.
Yeah.
But actually, when he first started, he was doing clean shows, and he was just doing silly impersonations and being a bit of a clown.
That's right.
And then he actually he busted out of all that, and he actually started to do.
And he became one of the best.
Yeah, just started to do it raw, straight up, and then it inspired the Eddie Murphys, Chris Rocks.
You know, I always
Kevin Hart's and
in
all
terms
them.
of black comedians, I mean, they've been such an influence on comedy and on in society, culture. A lot of the coolness comes from these guys. You know, it is what it is. You can't get a white guy or brown guy putting a cap backwards. You know.
Yeah.
It's but like, why do people always forget Red Fox? You remember Red Fox? He was a comedian before Pryor. So Eddie Murphy, remember Harlem Nights? He did that movie. It was 3 different generations of black comedians that have influenced people. Even Nipsey Russell he was known as the poet laureate. He was a very, very good roast comedian as well. So you had Red Fox, you had Pryor, and then Red Fox, Richard Pryor, and then Eddie Murphy.
Flip Wilson as well comes to mind.
He had a show, but I think that I wouldn't put him there at all. But Sherman Hemsley was good.
I haven't heard of
The
guy.
Jeffersons.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So people today, you tell kids today that they don't know who any of these people are. It's you tell them Taylor Swift, oh yeah, everybody, they go nuts, you know. But if you tell them someone like Don Rickles, is that a cough drop? You know. So it's gotten out of hand. People have forgotten that there is a history of comedy that brings us to where we are right now.
Yeah.
You've learned from these people. Seinfeld has cited. So to name my four. None of them are new comedians. Basically, these are the people who are my comic heroes, and they have literally influenced me to do comedy. It was in no particular order, but the top four are Don Rickles, George Carlin, Richard Pryor, and Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah.
That's it. I would not, I mean, as of today, I think the only people I can bear listening to for maybe about 10, 20 minutes or so are a bunch of, Kevin Hart to me, he's a bit annoying. Louis C.K. is good. Aziz Ansari, he's doing a good job putting brown people on the map up there with Parks and Recreation and whatnot, but
And who's the big Latino guy?
Gabriel Iglesias.
Gabriel Iglesias. He's not bad. He's good
not
with
bad.
his sound effects and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually met him in Chicago.
Yeah.
I went to, there's this place in
Seems
Chicago
like a fun guy to hang out with.
Portillo's. He was there, and here's the funny part, because he's so fat, but he was having a salad, so I was baffled at that, because I would have figured you want to go to
the
Portillo's.
paleo diet, mate. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Portillo's well known for burgers and beef, and the guy and hot dogs, and the guy's going there for a chicken salad. I mean, come on.
It's a bit silly. It's like when Macca's tries to do the health food thing, and just like, man, I'm going in there for a dirty burger. I don't want to eat a fucking.
You
salad
want the
at Macca's.
grease, right? That's what you want. I want grease, exactly.
Yeah, you're going there for a reason. You don't. Yeah. Anyway.
But when you go to McDonald's, you drive down normally, because this is another thing that pisses me off is the road. Who's the road for today? Is it for cars, cyclists, or pedestrians? What's next? You're going to see a lorry on the sidewalk? I mean, what's going on? I mean, this isn't Mad Max over here. You know, this is what's going on. So,
what do you think of the roads over here? Right, like in Melbourne. What do you think of the roads?
You know, it's
the speed limits.
Yeah.
I know you're frustrated by the speed limits.
Yeah, it's there are too many. But I've driven all over the world, and I have. It's actually, to be honest, it's become the same everywhere except for Germany, because you've got the Autobahn over there. So basically, over there, if you're going
put the foot through the floor,
exactly. If you're going at 170, you're the slow guy, you know.
Yeah.
So like, get the hell out of the way. So.
But the roads are good, and the drivers are educated. And here,
and the cars are good. Yeah. Audis and the
cars are nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just better set up. I don't know what we do about it over here. It's pretty crazy, because you know, on the drive over, I think we were talking about it. You know, you can be done for 3 to 5 k's over the speed limit. I mean, you know, and you get crazy penalties.
Yeah,
you know,
it's absurd.
Demerit points that stay with you for 3-4 years, and you know, it's like herpes. That shit just stays around those demerit points.
Well,
I don't know.
That's so cars aside. Now, what about the cyclists? I mean, now this thing over here, right there. These guys, they think they're on the road.
Oh, they give me the shits.
Yeah.
I can't. These fucking spandex lizards.
Lance Armstrong drug addicts.
Oh man, they are just. Yeah, they really do think they own the road. Those guys. Yeah. They got fucking big heads.
I had a guy back. Sorry, excuse me. I had a guy back in I can't remember where I was driving, and. So I was in a hurry to get somewhere, and this guy cycles in front of me with, like you said, like a Lance Armstrong sort of outfit with the spandex. He thinks he's a yellow Wolverine or something. I don't know. So and he gives me the middle finger because I don't give him way. I'm like, listen, do you see that this is concrete on the road?
Yeah.
Cycling over there. Do you understand?
Was he in a bike lane?
Well, I don't know, because it was in a different. This was in America, so I could have been wrong actually following it, because they drive on a different side of the road over there. So I might have been wrong, but even then, fuck them, because the cyclists piss me off. I mean,
yeah, road etiquette. It's a tricky one, but I mean, the cyclists, they get this overinflated sense of self.
Then self-denial, I think.
Yeah.
Then finally you have the walkers. Now. The walkers also piss me off, okay? Because I'm a fast walker. Which country just passed the bill? Well, not a bill, but everything's a fucking bill.
Everything. Yeah.
Which country passed this thing where they have a lane just for fast walkers only? I can't remember. Somewhere in Europe it was.
I think in the UK, I think they're doing stuff like that. They've got Yeah, fast walking lanes. Well, they got something like that over there. I was reading something the other day. I can't remember.
Isn't that a little bit weird though? So you look like a bunch of robots and drones walking together in one
The
lane.
same problem will still happen. You'll still get a couple of fucking idiots that'll be walking slow in the fast walking lane,
Because we're
just
not
like they are in
Yeah.
the fast driving lane. It'll be those same people probably.
But then that begs the question, what about when you get on the escalators, when you get those, so you've got two sides and you're supposed to move to the left so the people on the right can walk up and they just stand
Elevator
over there.
etiquette, yeah.
No, escalator, not elevator.
Oh, yeah, sorry,
So,
yeah.
so this is escalating. It's escalating for me because they stand there,
Yeah.
the guys, the boyfriend, the girlfriend, they're hugging each other. Get the fuck out of the way. Look, you do your mollycoddling later. I got no time for this. Let me
You're
walk
in a
up to
hurry.
my exactly. I got places
You
to
got
be.
places to go, people to see.
Exactly.
Things
and
to do.
Exactly. And I got a place to go and create a ruckus at and cause some controversy. So leave me alone. You know?
Yeah.
I'll make fun of you in my own time. But no, it's just getting out of hand. But above all, basically, look, finally, what I want to say is, or ask rather, is what is society today? Historically, what were we and what have we become today?
Well, I think if you go back to, political correctness and that's a big thing, and making sure that we don't offend anyone as far as, historically. I mean, what do you think, Phil? I mean, it's...
It's tough to say because it's almost like the stock market, but it depends how far back we go. I mean, there's so many different religions and so many different historical cultures.
I think
and
we have
whatnot.
evolved a lot.
We have, but I mean,
You
we
know.
still call each other monkeys, but we behave
We just
like
look
that.
at our phones a lot more now. We're just buried in our phones, I think.
We're drones. I think we're drones.
Yeah.
There isn't it's just gotten out of hand. Even the kids today, they're playing on that Nintendo V. They don't go outside anymore. I think we were the 80s babies were the last bunch to play
We had
outside.
a good balance, I think,
Yeah.
between playing our Nintendo and our and going outside and,
Playing some actual soccer or something.
Yeah, exactly. Now it's... Yeah, but I think there's maybe just too many devices, too many screens. You're
but
always
that's-
in front of a screen.
So then, basically, technology is taking over, and I'm not. A lot of people. This isn't just me. There are a lot of people who are unhappy about that. I mean, it's. Do you really want a robot serving you at some point? I mean,
Yeah.
it can replace the waiter because
Everything's all just automatic now.
Exactly.
You got Tinder as well. You swipe left, swipe right. There's human beings, and you just swipe
swipe
left
and swipe. Yeah.
You know,
they stop sweeping. They start swiping. Yeah.
We're a disposable society now. I think that's what.
No, you know what we should become? We should dispose of these people.
Yeah,
So that's what we should do.
dispose of a few millennials at least.
Yeah, well,
Well,
let's not get all we're gonna start turning. We might as well grow a mustache over there like Hitler. But no, yeah, I agree with you. It's it's getting out of hand. I'm getting fed up. And above all, I don't know. There's so much material in society. People have there's 7 billion people on Earth. Everyone seems to have lost the plot simply because of one word: selfish. Everybody wants things their way.
Yeah.
So when you have that, there's no common ground anymore.
yeah,
That's my take, at least. So
yeah. That's a good point. I mean, but you're always going to have selfish people. You're always going to have people out for themselves, and that means you see that, and then you go, well, then I have to just look after number one as well. And then it just keeps going on, so on and so forth.
what about, speaking of number one, you want to get Jose Mourinho in the picture with you've been following the Premier League with him. He's another selfish character right there.
Very
full of
selfish
himself.
character. Yeah, I loved his post game
Yeah.
speech. This is, what do you think of it? What are you going to do next game? The game plan. I have nothing to say. Any strategies you want to share? Nothing to say. Everything was just nothing.
It's a sore loser.
He's like, what are the fans going to think? The fans are smart. The fans are smart. The fans are smart. They know. Yeah, and he just always speaks in this cryptic Mourinho language. He's a character.
This shows you that, I was always told growing up that life can't always be very good. It can't always be very bad. There has to be balance. I think Chelsea is showing, Mourinho rather, is showing signs of that. I mean, number one, all this while, I think to me, arguably the best coach ever, along with a few others.
Well, he's a master tactician.
Absolutely.
I'd say. Wherever he's gone, he's left.
He's like the
He's left
Mayweather
a
of
mark.
football.
Yeah.
Right? It's boring to watch, but he's got it down.
He's got it down.
He's got it down. But can you just imagine Chelsea on the verge of relegation? I mean, can you, they're 17
they're
now?
2 points, I think,
Yeah.
above the relegation zone. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. It's time for a new. Not only is it time for a new coach, it's time for a new uprise. It's time for change. But I think the change is just not the change that I've expected. It's like when I see a rainbow now, I'm like, oh no, LGBT right there. You know, I can't even get. I can't. I saw I swear to God, I saw it in Australia.
There's still some people that have the rainbow thing on there.
There's a rainbow cake over there. Call it an LGBT cake if you want.
Oh, I had the rainbow cake. It was a nice cake.
Yeah, how'd it taste?
Yeah, it was good.
It was good?
Did you see the picture of that rainbow cake? I can't.
No, which one? I remember
think I
Paddle
might
Pop,
have
but that's ruined it for me.
Ah, okay.
The ice cream also is gone. I mean, when I see
Golden Gay Time.
Golden Gay Time, that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone loves the gay time.
Well, back in the day, not anymore. I mean, we're not going to raise liberal. Excuse me. See, I can't even. LGBT is making me lose the
You're
L's.
choking up.
Yeah, exactly. It's getting me all upset. We're not going to raise Liberace from the dead, are we? Huh? The guy's dressing up in some feathers and like Ric Flair from wrestling. I mean, look, I don't know what's going on with people. Everyone's gone nuts. Okay, you're nuts. I'm nuts. So
we'll all be nuts together. Then.
Exactly. So, but on that note, let's just say, look, the two nuts are done for today. And I'd like to thank you very much, my dear friend Rob, for taking the time off.
This has been fun.
Yeah, and look, you're my first guest and not my last, let me tell you that. Peace out, society, or try to be that way at least. Thank you. Have a good day. Cheers.